do what I do.
That's what I'm talking about. When I type Willie Lynch, they'll let you know already what it was and the story behind it. Because see, all this is an old tactic from an old playbook. So back in the day, they would try to cast northern blacks against southern blacks, and city blacks against country blacks, and light-skinned blacks against dark-skinned blacks, and black men against black women, and old black folk against young black folk. That's the Willie Lynch letter. It's a foundational tool of the plantation system. It's a philosophy that taught enslavers how to manipulate racial hierarchy to divide black unity and exploit our labor. And here's what happened. It worked, especially among diaspora Africans and Caribbeans. They made you all work yourself to death. It's a whole bunch of Caribbeans right down there in South Florida, cleaning toilets for white folk, bathing old white people. You out there wiping crusty white people's booties, talking about you outwork black. We ain't doing it. You old retired white folk from New York come down there and they got all those nice Caribbean people to wipe their booties up. That's what you're working. That's the hard work they got you doing. And you doing it. And you say, I'm better than those black people as you wiping, cleaning urine pans. I'm telling the truth. Fort Lauderdale. Go down to Fort Lauderdale. Nothing but Caribbeans. Every day they take public transportation to some old white person's house to clean their booties off and change their bedpans. You swear up and down you better than us. Look, white supremacy doesn't just want your labor, it wants your devotion. And by telling Africans and Caribbeans that black Americans are lazy, they created a psychological trap. You've been tricked, okay? As the brother Malcolm said, you've been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled, you've been led astray. You're working past your limits, okay? Somebody type work harder. Believing that you're a good black. Somebody type good black in the chat room. You seeking validation from white folk. Look at me. I've made more. I'm better than them. But here's the truth. Your worth isn't measured in hours or dollars, and working harder doesn't mean you're succeeding. It means you're giving your best to a system that's built to exploit you, and when it's done with you, it's gonna get rid of you. Work harder. Huh? Look at the history of the United States. Most of y'all don't know. What happens when your community thrives as a person of color? You build your strong neighborhoods, you invest in real estate, you build businesses, you're making it. We've seen that, right? Because see, the same people who broke up Black Wall Street in Red Summer come through to destroy, seize, deport, and shut down your whole world. I guess y'all must have missed that lesson. And you're doomed to play the same part again as the hardworking pawn, not the power-holding player. Let's investigate. In 1919, Red Summer, you all missed all that. Red Summer was the punishment for black success. See, after World War II or after World War I, black men returned home as veterans. They were armed, they were trained, and they no longer content with second-class citizenship. And so in dozens of cities across the U.S., from Chicago to Washington, D.C. to Elaine, Arkansas, white mobs, often supported by law enforcement, just found reasons just to attack black communities. They unalive men, women, and children. They burn down homes and businesses. Why? Because black Americans have started to prosper and organize and assert ourselves. Black people have built up thriving businesses and real estate holdings and newspaper schools and mutual aid societies. And they did this during Reconstruction and afterwards. These are the same folk in 1919. You still had white folk alive who fought in the Civil War and had slaves. And now they're looking up and they seeing all these black folk doing well for themselves. How do you think that made them feel with that sick psychosis of white supremacy that they have? See, racism is not about racism. Racism is centered around anti-black racism. Challenges the notions of that white supremacists lie that says we are inferior. More importantly, they are superior. See, when black men came home with dignity, with uniforms, with pride, it shattered the illusion of white superiority, and white America lashed out. You see what I'm saying? Our brothers came home from World War I as veterans, proud, trained, okay? And that triggered these white folk, and they lashed out. And whether we talk about Tulsa, 1921, Black Wall Street, in the Greenwood district, where you had a thriving community of black lawyers and doctors and banks and schools, one single false accusation led to a white mob leveling the place in 24 hours. Hundreds of black people killed. Hell, from 1877 to 1865, you had something called Jim Crow, which was state-sanctioned repression. The laws were against us. We had to fight against that. Even up into the civil rights movement, for 100 years after slavery, we had to fight. Hell, post-civil rights, you had the FBI dismantling black movements and pumping drugs into the community, and we had to deal with mass incarceration. Joe Biden and his foolishness. So it wasn't just Red Summer, it didn't end right there. And now, what do we see happening to these immigrants? What do you think? In 2025, Trump's immigration policy, it's nothing but a revived tactic. Do you know they are now fining immigrants who stay past their time period $998 a day? If your visa expires after a deportation order, the government can now seize your property, your bank accounts, your access, and it's retroactive for 5 years. This isn't enforcement. It's done to strip away their wealth. This is the modern day Black Wall Street right now. This is the modern day Red Summer. This is what's happening. It sounds familiar, right? This is Trump's policy. It's the same as burning down homes and businesses to send a message. You are never truly safe here. So y'all go right on ahead and work harder. Somebody type work harder in the chat room. See, work harder isn't the answer. That's why black Americans, foundational black Americans, laughed at all you immigrants when you told us we were lazy and when you told us to work harder. We laughing at you. But you're going to learn today. See, this is something black Americans learned decades ago. Building community doesn't protect you unless you build power too. Working more doesn't buy you safety unless you're also protected by collective rights. White validation is a trap. It distracts from the real work, political leverage, community self-determination, owning your narrative, and the willingness to whoop ass when necessary. I said it, excuse my French, family friendly, okay? See, what you actually need to survive and thrive is to stop worshiping the system that doesn't reward black excellence. It harms it. It uses it. It discards it. See? That's what it is. See, you should have united with foundational black American communities while you had the chance. This isn't optional, it's essential. See, you needed the shared power, not the borrowed legacy. See, before Columbus, our ancestors were here thriving. You're not adding to this story. You're entering into a continuum that stretches back millennia. You understand me? Now, this is what you have going on right now. From 1968 onward, we fought and we bled and we did jail time for civil rights. But what happened after that? They ran highways through our neighborhoods. The FBI destroyed black leadership and organizations. We had to deal with the onslaught of drugs that were pumped into to America, to the black community. Shout out to Alonzo Dunn. And they got our people addicted. They penalized them with mass incarceration.
Black father, I have black son.
Tune in, weekly feeling inspired. From the heart, real talk ignite. Every episode brings the light. Subscribe, hit the like, won't you dare. Share the love, you know it's family. Join us every week, don't be late. Drop some coins in the collection plate. Drop some coins, enjoy the ride. Come say hi, catch the wave, don't pass by. Lifted spirits always in sight. In this podcast, joy takes flight. Subscribe, hit the like, won't you dare. Share the love, you know it's fair. Join us every week, don't be late. Drop some coins in the collection plate. Drop some coins.
Donation. I thought it was a trash movie.
Hey man, I do what I do.
You know that.